Hi guys, good evening and welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host Eddie, and in tonight's video I wanted to bring you I don't know if I would call this a theory video, or possibly you could regard it as fan speculation, or maybe you could call it a fan theory video, but what I wanted to call this video was Godzilla's reputation needs saving. And I'll explain why in just a minute. But before I do that, I just want to briefly tell everybody that spoilers are going to be abundant throughout this video, from Godzilla 2014 to Godzilla vs. Kong of 2021. I'm going to be discussing multiple spoilers throughout the entire MonsterVerse, which is all 4 movies. So, and a 5th one is coming in 2024, but we don't really know anything about that yet. But I've got some thoughts and theories on I want to share with you guys. So, that being said, you have been warned. Watch this video with discretion or carefully if you haven't seen any of the MonsterVerse films. Anyway, let's get back to it. So, the deal with Godzilla in the MonsterVerse is that, you know, in 2014, he was seen as like another scary monster to be feared. But towards the end of that film, you know, there's this magnificent moment after our main characters are reunited in the big sports dome thing in San Francisco after Godzilla has defeated the Mutos, and he's lying there amongst the rubble, everyone believing him to be dead. He springs back to life, slowly shambles out of the city, and the TV says, King of the Monsters, ? Savior of our city, ? And the whole place filled with refugees goes in an uproar of applause and cheers and clapping. And it's because they see him as a savior of San Francisco. And then he just shambles on out to the ocean, gives one majestic roar, and goes into the ocean. And that's the end of that film. Flash forward 5 years later, Godzilla has not been seen since the events of the last film. And when he reemerges to deal with the threat of Ghidorah, basically he's still seen as seen as an indifferent, almost indirect threat to humanity, until they realize, oh shit, he's the only one strong enough to kill Ghidorah. I guess we shouldn't have tried to kill him and Ghidorah with the oxygen destroyer. And then they revive him. He's all amped up, and that's what the strength he needs to take on Ghidorah and save the day once and for all. And then another 5-year time jump occurs between Godzilla King of the Monsters and Godzilla vs. Kong, because apparently for some reason Godzilla vs. Kong, even though it came out in 2021, takes place in 2024 for some reason. Anyway, it's been another 5 years, and apparently Godzilla hasn't been seen since. He's probably just been doing his own thing, avoiding people because he's indifferent towards humans. However, he makes landfall in Florida when he attacks Apex headquarters because he can sense the presence of his old enemy Ghidorah, because they're using one of the skulls from the severed head of Ghidorah that he himself took off during Godzilla King of the Monsters. He can sense the presence of his old enemy being used and utilized in the Apex company headquarters, which is why he makes landfall and attacks. He starts destroying buildings, going through everything, looking for whatever trace of Ghidorah there may be. And that in that scene in that film, we see this red eye, and that clearly becomes one of the eyes that becomes Mechagodzilla. Later, towards the end of the film, he senses Mechagodzilla / Ghidorah's presence once again and swims to Hong Kong, and he just starts going on the rampage in Hong Kong. Then King Kong shows up. They have a fight. Kong is beaten, left for dead. Then Godzilla refocuses his energy on Mechagodzilla / the presence of Ghidorah. And then, of course, from there, we get the awesome third and final act of the film when Godzilla is almost killed by Mechagodzilla / Ghidorah, and Kong swoops in to save the day, and then the two of them team up to take on Mechagodzilla, and it was basically my boyhood dream come true, and I loved it so much, and I still love it. So, and then after the fight, Mechagodzilla is defeated, technically by Kong, since Godzilla left, kind of set out the last couple minutes, because he was so badly hurt. Godzilla gets back up, basically roars farewell to Kong, and he leaves him and the humanity behind, and he goes back into the ocean to presumably disappear. So my question is, in the new MonsterVerse film, which is going to come out in a couple of years, or in about 2 years, the movie is slated for March 15th of 2024. And unfortunately, besides the casting of Dan Stevens and the director Adam Wingard returning to write and to direct this film again, We simply don't know anything about this movie. We don't know if King Kong is going to be in it, if Godzilla will be in it, what other monsters will be in it, whether human characters or actors will be in it. We really don't know anything about this movie, but it got me wondering, will this movie address the problem of Godzilla's reputation? Because during and after Godzilla vs. Kong, he's probably considered and seen a threat once again. You know, because now after living in relative peace with humans, he suddenly reemerges, attacks Florida, attacks Hong Kong. Then people, of course, do not know the truth or the real reason why he was doing this, and it was because he could sense the presence of Mechagodzilla / Ghidorah. And so I wonder if at any point during this new MonsterVerse film, which we'll get in about 2 years, if there will be some human characters advocating for Godzilla, kind of like Millie Bobby Brown's character in Godzilla vs. Kong. She and her allies are the few people who think that there's something else driving Godzilla, making him attack, making him do these uncharacteristically hostile things towards humans. So I wonder if there will be a storyline in the new film, if Godzilla is in it at all. And even if Godzilla isn't in the new movie, they could still address this issue where his reputation needs to be restored in a sense where he's like, you know what, he's our ally, he's our friend, he's our protector, he's not an enemy, he's not a destroyer. He's a destroyer of other monsters, but he's not a destroyer of humanity. He doesn't really care that much about us. He just sees other monsters as the threat. We just happen to get in the way sometimes. But it feels like to me that somebody needs to save Godzilla's reputation, because Godzilla is a wild animal. He doesn't give a rat's ass about his reputation, but other people will. People in Monarch probably will. And I wonder if in this new movie, if it will come out at all, the truth about what Apex was doing with that, the former head of Apex, Walter Simmons, who of course died at the claws of Mechagodzilla, his own creation. I wonder if the truth will come out about what him, his daughter, and their employees were doing at Apex in terms of secretly building, creating Mechagodzilla, and creating such an unstoppable force that only through the combined strength of Godzilla and Kong could it be taken down and defeated. So I wonder if the truth about Mechagodzilla will come out, the truth about Apex, and if somebody will say, look, see, it wasn't Godzilla's fault, it was Apex, they did this, they're the ones who did this. I wonder if at any point during the new MonsterVerse film, whatever it may be about, whether Godzilla or Kong, either one of them actually show up in it, whatever happens, I wonder if that will be addressed, Godzilla's reputation. Because frankly, his reputation could use a little saving, considering the events of Godzilla vs. Kong, where he appeared as the hostile attacker, when really he was rooting out the source of an old enemy, but through rather hostile methods. So what do you guys think? Do you think in the new MonsterVerse film that's due to come out spring of 2024, if they'll address this issue about what really happened in Hong Kong, why Godzilla was acting so aggressive in both the Florida and Hong Kong attacks, and what was really driving him, and who was really behind it with Apex and the now dead Walter Simmons and whatnot? Or is it something that'll be completely overlooked and people will have already made up their minds about it? Personally, I think a fantastic way for Godzilla to save or restore his reputation is to show up heroically and unexpectedly against a brand new threat, a new monster, possibly a pre-existing Toho monster, which maybe Warner Brothers and Legendary can get the license to, or just a brand new created one, created just for the MonsterVerse. Have Godzilla show up, kick its ass, heroically save the day, and heroically save a large population of humans, whether it be a city or an entire country. Who knows? But I think that could be a lot of fun to see. What do you guys think? I'd love to hear your thoughts and feelings on this. Thanks so much for watching. Is Godzilla's reputation a thing that we should really be worried about, or should we just be concerned and worried about how good, or possibly bad, but most likely how good the next MonsterVerse film will be? Have a great rest of your night, everyone. Thanks for watching, and of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.